Yes, sir.
Are you retired or are you waiting for a call?
Oh, I'm retired.
It was an injury, right?
Yeah. I tore my rotator cuff in Pittsburgh 2 years ago, and I was just like, you know what? It was pretty bad. It was a very significant injury. And
How'd you do it?
I went up for a ball and kind of fell. Like a guy was under me, and the safety like fell on top of my arm, and my arm got caught behind my shoulder. I'm walking back to the huddle, and I'm just like, I'm trying to move my arm, and it's
just dangling.
It's like a noodle. So I thought I had like a little stinger.
Yeah.
And so I get to the huddle, and I'm like, okay, it's not coming back. So I get to the line of scrimmage, and I'm like, yo, Ben.
Don't throw to me.
He's like, what's wrong? He's like, he calls timeout. He's like, what's wrong? I was like, my shoulder's fucked up. And so I go over to see the trainer, like John Norway. I'm like, yo, John, I can't move my arm. And his exact words were, come on, you're Plaxico Burress. You can move your arm. I said, yo, I can't move my arm. And it was like, you're serious? I'm like, yeah.
Oh.
And it was just like,
just hanging. Oh. But it didn't hurt, or were you in shock?
Yeah, it didn't hurt initially because I didn't know exactly what it was. So they thought I had like a little contusion, like tore my tricep or something. And so they sat me on a cooler and wrapped my shoulder up. And so he went down to the other side of the field, and I'm sitting there like, oh, I feel like I'm about to pass out because the pain is getting so intense. And by the time he comes back, my shoulder's about this big.
Oh, it's swollen.
Twice the size.
It was like, boom. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm in trouble.
So how do they fix that? They have to just go in and just kind of, you tear a cut, they just have to go back in and stitch it back to where it should have been? I mean, I'm obviously not an athlete.
They cut it on top and cut it in the back, and whatever they do, the doctor told me it was so bad, they actually taped my rotator cuff back together with like two-way tape.
Oh,
Jesus.
And I was like, yeah, if I have tape in my shoulder, I'm not going to play football.
Yeah.